Hey guys, Weebin here. Today's video is going to be about the multipolar world we live in. Until the 24th of February this year, we've been living in a unipolar world where the United States has been controlling the morals, the economy, the language we speak, and so on. As if you follow that uh, list of things that the United States expect from your country, they will give foreign aid, money, guns, whatever you need to keep control of your country. So we have countries like Ukraine that receives training, military training, they receive weapons, they receive money, and so on, all to fight the evil Russia. Because Ukraine has accepted Western morals and wants to become a Western democracy, while Russia thinks itself to be its own country, independent from United States influence, and is now fighting for it. So, what is a multipolar world? It is a world where multiple countries have enough power to enact their own influence over their own sphere. So they will have their own sphere of influence and they will exact their influence over that sphere. And they will be fighting with each other. It doesn't necessarily need to be wars or economic wars, but they will be talking diplomatically and they will engage in warfare as well. For example, Ukraine. Ukraine is within Russia's sphere of influence, but the United States wants it to be in its own. So Russia challenged the United States, where Russia says, Ukraine is mine, and I'm going to fight you over it. And the United States says, okay, we'll send weapons, but we will not fight you directly. And that is because they want to avoid a direct conflict. Just with that alone, that makes Russia the winner, because Russia now shows the world that it can do whatever it wants, regardless of the consequences, because the United States isn't strong enough to get rid of it. Now, what makes a country powerful enough to conflict with other polars? Well, mainly is the fact that a polar country is a center of economy, so they have their own economic union. They have their own morals, culture, and language. For example, the European Union, if they are making an announcement, what language do they make it in? They make it in English. That is because they're under the American sphere of influence. Now, what about the morals and culture? They're matching the Americans as well. LGBT rights, women's rights, all these things that they keep promoting in other countries, they're all based on the same fundamental Western values. Now, most other countries disagree with these values, like Russia, China, Africa, Middle East, and so on. So all of these countries have been on the list of American and Western rivals, if so to say. Well, we have countries like Israel and the European Union and other countries that are within the sphere of Western allies, who basically get the pass to do whatever they want, as long as it's not against each other, but against an outside force, which is the rest of the world. Now, what kind of countries do I believe would be polars in the multipolar world? Well, first of all, is the United States. And I separated the United States and Europe because I believe in the future, Europe wants to be more independent. And that is because I see United States returning to a more isolationist ideology soon, as they realize that they can gain more from not interfering with the world than actually interfering with it. So they'll be living on their own islands, trading with Mexico and Canada, doing whatever they want over there rather than on the whole world, as it will be too straining on the resources to be fighting both Russia and China at the same time, even with support of Europe. And at the same time, we have Europe that is dependent on Russian natural resources and other countries' natural resources, so they're dependent on trade. So they are the ones who are going to be fighting for global trade, as they are reliant on Russian and other natural resources from different countries. Then we have Russia, that is only focusing on their own interests and their own sphere of influence. They want their quote-unquote heartland to be safe. So they are going to be fighting for that, and then of course they will be intervening in other countries based on their interests. If it gets them money and higher standards of living, then they will be going for it. And finally, we have China, which is in its own world. It has 1.4 billion people. It has a huge economy, about a quarter of the world's economy, and they have the largest manufacturing country in the world. They produce most of the consumer goods and so on. So in and of itself, it's powerful enough to exert influence. At the same time, if the United States begins becoming isolationist, it won't take much for most Southeast Asian countries to switch sides and follow a Chinese ideology rather than the Western one, as they realize that they can join and create their own economic unions outside of what the United States is offering them. So in conclusion, I believe there's going to be the United States, possibly Australia, and Japan and South Korea as well, and mainly in North America. Also, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Iceland, Greenland will also be involved in this sphere of influence. And there's the European Union, which is going to be mainland Europe. And then finally, we have the Russian sphere of influence, which also includes Iran, possibly Iraq and Syria, and Turkey. Then there's going to be Central Asian countries and very eastern part of Europe, which is Ukraine and Belarus. Then we have the Chinese sphere of influence, which is China, Mongolia, Eastern Central Asia, possibly Indonesia and East Asia, and so on. Then we have the black sheep, which is India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Middle East, Africa, South America. Both of these countries, it is unknown to me what they're going to be choosing in the future. For example, we have reports of Egypt, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia, even Mexico and Argentina wanting to join BRICS, which is in direct confrontation with the United States, who consider North and South America to be within their own sphere of influence. So these are going to be battlegrounds for the different multipolar countries, multipolar powers to fight with each other over control of these areas. And that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, post a comment down below. And if you have any criticism and so on, I'll deeply appreciate it. And if you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.